Hello, today I'm going to be talking about training and development in organizations. And while training and development is a very broad topic, there's a lot of different areas within that. I'm going to narrow down my focus and talk about onboarding today. So for today's onboarding agenda, I'm going to talk about the background and also give a definition of what onboarding is, learning objectives, and discussion, reflection, and assignment. And the goal of this session is to provide students with the understanding of the critical need of effective onboarding within the context of business organizations. So first, let's define what onboarding is. Onboarding is the action or process of integrating a new employee into the organization. So why is onboarding important in organizations? Have you ever been excited to start a new position? And then as soon as you start a position, you feel lost. You're not sure where to park, where the break room is, who to go to with questions, and also how your job fits in with the overall vision of the organization. New employees who experience poorly managed and executed onboarding may conclude that the organization is poorly managed and decide that it was a mistake to take a new job. If the employee remains in the organization, the early experiences get magnified as they make their way up through the organization. Onboarding is the time the new employees decide if the organization is somewhere they want to work long term. So the learning objective, through your involvement and participation in this class, you will gain an understanding of new employee onboarding, which includes learning 5 foundations for an effective onboarding program. Before we begin, let's briefly talk about good versus bad onboarding. Can you identify some pros and cons of onboarding? I know there's a lot of pros and cons, but let's just kind of quickly take a look at both of those. Some of the cons with a poorly planned onboarding program, the IT department is not prepared. They do not have the logins and passwords prepared for the new employee. An email is not already established before the employee starts. The organizational chart is not updated, and also the email, and phone list for the staff is not updated within the organizations. The coworkers are not prepared or may not even be aware that the new employee is coming. And also the trainee is not prepared. And then some of the pros for an effective onboarding program: the IT department is prepared. Login is ready for the new hire to enter the password. Their email is ready to go. New employee's name and phone number is on the organizational chart. The coworkers are prepared to train. And also the mentor is prepared to meet with the new hire. So the learning objectives, the first one is foster a positive experience for new employees. The organizations must foster a positive new hire experience for both the new employees and for the benefit of the organization. I have listed below a lot of these are just some of the different areas that organizations can help foster and make it a positive experience for the new employee. The new hire experience is for both the employee and the organization. It's in everyone's best interest that all activities carried out by the onboarding program are handled with building trust, establishing respect, and encouraging emotional buy-in. Ultimately, while an onboarding program governs the first few crucial days, the weeks of a new employee's tenure, the goal is to develop a long-term relationship that ideally lasts for decades. And the second objective is help new employees verify that they've made the right choice. Make them feel important. It's great to be chosen for a new job, but it's also even better to know just how much you mean to your company and how much they want you and they appreciate you being there. Organizations should also make them feel welcome. And a lot of organizations they assign a mentor to the new employee. And that mentor is a go-to person for any type of questions they have. And also it's important to make the new employee feel prepared. Let them see that you are prepared for them. And you can avoid the first day overload by trying to take care of as much beforehand as possible. As I mentioned previously, have the new hire paperwork done, the logins, provide organizational charts, etc., and help them make day number 1 feel informed and excited and not overwhelmed. And also make them feel useful. None of us want to feel like a fifth wheel, and there's nothing worse than having to ask on your first day of work, is there anything I can do? Integrate them straight into the role by giving them small but useful tasks. Give them a sense of value and let them know that what they're doing is important. Third one is orient new employees to the organization's mission. Without overwhelming the new employees, the onboarding program should focus on familiarizing them to the organization's vision. If you want a new employee to embrace the culture and vision of your organization, you need to give them a warm welcome to it. New employees also need to understand how their particular position and their job duties tie into the vision of the organization so they know immediately if they are part of the big picture of the organization. And the fourth one is assist new employees to identify their roles and responsibilities. The onboarding guide should cover each new employee's key roles and responsibilities, including those related to acceptable behavior, anti-harassment policies, and other vital expectations. With this in mind, new employees should be provided with documentation, either in print or most likely they're online anymore, that can be referred to as necessary. They should also be encouraged to ask questions or seek clarifications before taking an action or making a decision, not after. New employees can often feel overwhelmed in the positions and they don't know who to go to with questions. As I previously mentioned, a lot of organizations will assign a mentor to them. A lot of the larger organizations also have a buddy system in place. For example, if a new employee wants to know something that's really not work-related, for example, where's the nearest Starbucks, or where can I go for lunch today? What places around here do you recommend to eat at? They have a buddy system in place for the non-work-related questions like that. And then the last one, learning objective, is to provide new employees with an overview of their training plan. New employees are just as eager to be as productive as a new employer, sometimes even more. However, in most cases, some degree of training is in everyone's best interest. For example, using the computer software that the organization has, understanding the workflows, becoming familiar with the internal processes, and so on. Ensure that the onboarding guide has a meaningful training component and doesn't throw new employees into the proverbial deep end to find out if they can swim or sink. New employees are eager to begin their position and be productive. To assist onboarding processes in ensuring that they feel welcome, the new employees feel welcome, the organization should provide new employee with an itinerary for the first week, and I have an example in front of you. And the itinerary should be at least for the first week. Sometimes it's even for the first several weeks or months, depending on how detailed and how much training the particular position has. And by providing this, the employee, they come to work and they know what they're going to be doing, and they feel that they have an active training program in place. And we're also assisting employees with feeling welcome if they know what to expect. The bottom line for onboarding is having a guide that is a dynamic document that provides a framework for what new employees and the organization hopes to be a positive, mutually rewarding relationship. It's also a helpful reminder to organizations that new employees need and deserve a level of enhanced support and direction, regardless of whether the role is entry level or executive level. And in onboarding reflection, I like this quote by Benjamin Franklin: "Tell me and I'll forget, show me and I may remember, involve me and I learn." The best onboarding program is also the best employee retention program. I love that quote. The revolving door can be very costly to employees or to organizations with having to search and hire and train new employees repeatedly. It's best to have an effective strategic onboarding program in place, and that will also help employees to want to retain within the organization too. So I would like for you to take a few minutes and write down one concept from the segment that you think is important, and then why you feel it's important to organizations. And last, the homework assignment. Given the situation, you are the manager of a human resource department at an organization that does not have an onboarding program. You are tasked to establish an effective onboarding program for the organization. So your assignment is to draft an onboarding outline or a checklist that outlines the steps you feel are critical with an effective onboarding program. And that concludes my segment of training development within organizations, the onboarding program. Thank you.